This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
You told me not to think about the good old days. I just want you to try and consider my feelings. But you don't want me, no. You don't love me anymore. Anymore, do you? She laughs when I cry. She looks away when I stare. So I'll try not to think about the love we share, the love we share.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, I think we have established this time and time again. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is, you know what? It's Tuesday, May the 19th of 2026. No, not a joke there, as we are talking, and we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there. No, seriously, over there. Wherever over there is.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, that's what we do. That's what we hang. That's where we bang. We do all of our stuff hanging out over there at Radio Big.FM. So, yeah, let's start talking right away. Hopefully, everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods as we are hanging out on this lovely Tuesday. So, let me kind of explain how we do our little concept of this show. Our show right here is a 3-hour longer. Yeah, it's a 3-hour long show. Not a joke as I say that. Some people go, you're joking. Nope, not joking whatsoever. So what will take place is the first hour we do this thing that we call the Rated R Safety Show. Hour 2 and 3 is the Jay Allen of the Morning Show that goes exclusively to Radio Big.FM. Only the first hour is on video, and it's also on a podcast when it's all said and done. If you want to hang out in either one of the extremes, you're more than welcome on doing that by going to safetyfm.com or going to radiobig.fm, or you can go to safety.fm, but we can get all that confusing stuff out of the way for now. So, yeah, that's some options. By the way, I have to tell you, because I guess I did not come to this realization. Some people are saying that the actual Safety FM app, depending on where you're at, is having some problems. We have some people working into it. So they're working, I shouldn't say working into it. They're working onto it, because I almost went looking into it and working onto it all at the same time. So that would be where the confusion is.
Duh.
So that would be something that's being worked on as we speak. So we should have that thing corrected, probably even a full-blown update to it. So just so you know, my dream is to have the Radio Big app and the Safety FM app just in one, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be happening because on how it's actually set up. But maybe one day, well, we can say,
I have a dream.
And then we can have that all working for you. So with that being said, our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's just kind of how we go around doing everything in regards of this particular one. Just kind of how it goes. So if you come out, hang out with us, you can go to either safetyfm.com. If you go into the hub section, there's a way on how to call into the radio station. If not, you can just go to callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, text messaging. So that will take care of everything in regards to what's going on. Because I will tell you, we will just do everything inside of there to get you moving and grooving. That's it. So with that being said, I do have my friends from Feature Story News that are ready to go. And I'm saying, when I say ready to go, I'm talking they are ready, Eddie. They are saying, hey, we are sitting here. We are just waiting for you to point and direct and say we are good to go. So if you are good with this, I'm good with this. We can get this all moving and grooving for you right now. So let's do that right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in the UK, I'm John Beaver. At least 131 people are known to have died in an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The area where cases are being reported is widening, and there have been 2 deaths and 1 confirmed case in neighbouring Uganda. The World Health Organization has declared the current outbreak an international emergency, but the Congolese government is urging people not to panic. Greg Rahm is the director of Save the Children in the region.
Hundreds of thousands of people are displaced. Ebola is difficult enough to control in normal circumstances. In the midst of a humanitarian crisis, it makes the challenge that much greater, and it's why help is needed in the places where we know what to do if we can get the help there.
The United States has extended a sanctions waiver allowing limited transactions involving Russian oil, a move that could benefit key buyers like India. New Delhi has maintained it will continue purchasing discounted Russian crude despite Western pressure. Ishan Gurg reports.
The extension of the US waiver provides breathing room for global energy markets and developing nations, says Washington. India, now one of the largest buyers of Russian crude, has reiterated that it will act in its national interest, with officials saying affordable energy remains a priority. Data from private firms shows that India is on track to buying close to 2 million barrels of Russian oils per day, which is close to its record high numbers. Analysts say the waiver helps avoid immediate disruptions but does little to resolve long-term uncertainty. While India says it is diversifying oil procurement due to the blockade of Strait of Hormuz, country's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged national fuel austerity. Ishan Garg, New Delhi.
It's being reported that Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola will leave the club at the end of the season. He's been at City for 10 years, winning 20 trophies in total. Despite having a year left on his contract, it's expected Guardiola's departure will be confirmed on Sunday, the final day of the Premier League campaign. Former Man City chairman David Bernstein says Pep has been phenomenal.
Clearly the greatest manager that City have ever had, and I think probably with Alex Ferguson, the greatest manager in English football since the Second World War. It's an extraordinary record. To do what he's done over a decade, over 10 years, is so difficult to manage football at the top level and keep doing it and repeat the success is near impossible. So as a football manager at the highest level, unparalleled, absolutely fantastic. The key thing is to manage people. It's the understanding of players. It's the ability to inspire, to coax, to force. And if you look at the great managers, they all had that same ability to inspire loyalty and manage to keep it going for such a long length of time. That's the really, really difficult part of it.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, with more today on China's perspective on last week's state visit by President Trump to Beijing. It's been widely noted that President Xi Jinping's warning to the US leader not to come to Taiwan's defense if and when China uses force to seize control of the island of Formosa served as a line in the sand, the Chinese saying the Taiwan issue will determine the possibility of more positive relations with the US. Victor Gao is Vice President of the Center for China and Globalization in Beijing.
President Trump is known to be a transactional president, is very much chasing after one deal after another. I think it is absolutely important for China to make our case to President Trump so that he will have knowledge at first about what we really care about. Whenever the Taiwan issue pops up on his presidential radar screen, I hope President Trump will think about what he learned from President Xi Jinping and make a decision which I hope will be in the fundamental interest of the American people.
By which he means an outcome that avoids conflict. But short-term, President Trump has a big decision to make. Is he going to approve $14 billion of US weapons for Taiwan? Congress has greenlit the deal, and many Republicans want their president to stand up to China on the issue. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, at least 131 people are known to have died in an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The area where cases are being reported is widening, and there's been 2 deaths and 1 confirmed case in neighbouring Uganda. The United States has extended a sanctions waiver allowing limited transactions involving Russian oil. And after 20 trophies, it's being reported that Pep Guardiola is set to leave Manchester City at the end of the season. That's the latest feature story news. John Beaver reporting.
Time magazine called this show epic. AARP called it a wild ride with a lot of bathroom breaks. Need another reason to listen?
He's a man. It's awesome, funny, random, doesn't make any sense, but it's good.
Jay Allen in the morning on Radio Big.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion. The book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobile.io. That's mobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Attention, this radio show has been upgraded to unpredictable.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check.
and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, Rated R, there you go. Always is what we kind of do around here, just in case if you're wondering. So let's start talking right away about some of the things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because this is kind of the way that we do our things. Okay, so let's take it from the top, getting into some
serious business.
A deadly shooting erupted yesterday in an Islamic center of San Diego in the Claremont area of San Diego after two gunmen reportedly opened fire around 11:40 a.m. Authorities say security guards and at the mosque was killed while trying to defend the site. Police later said that they were shot and killed both attackers after responding to the scene. Multiple other people were hospitalized, though officials have not yet confirmed how serious the injuries are. The mosque also housed Al-Rashid School and terrified the parents who rushed them to reunite with their children as students were evacuated by law enforcement. Officers of Imam Taha Hassan later confirmed that all children, teachers, and school staff were safely evacuated. Police flooded the area with emergency crews, shut down nearby roads and parts of Interstate 805, and urged the public to stay away while the scene was being secured. By late afternoon, authorities said that it had been neutralized. Take a listen to what happened.
At about 11:43, we received a call of an active shooter at the Islamic Center. Within 4 minutes, officers arrived on scene and observed immediately three what appeared to be deceased victims out in front. They immediately began to deploy with an active shooter response into the mosque and adjacent school. At about the same time, we began to receive calls from just a couple blocks away that we had more active gunfire. Officers were also responding to that call for service at the same time. There was a landscaper that was doing his work that was shot at and fortunately was not hit. That was at about the 7100 block of Salerno, which is just a couple blocks from here. Moments later, at the 3800 block of Hatton, officers were called to that location where they found a vehicle in the middle of the street with who we believe to be the shooters in this incident, both deceased.
Okay, so that's part of what exactly was going on based on the reports right there in real time. Scott, on how people died, take a listen to what he had to say as well.
How many total deceased? So we have our two suspects that are deceased. We have 3 victims at the Islamic Center. All 3 are adults, for a total of 5 people that are deceased related to this incident.
So a lot of deceased in regards of what is going on, as you can definitely take a listen there. So some interesting stuff as we are talking, no doubt about that. So let's start talking about this one, because this one was kind of one of those things that came out of left field yesterday as well. So let's talk. Mark Furman, the former Los Angeles detective tied forever to O.J. Simpson's murder trial, has died at the age of 74, battling with an aggressive form of throat cancer. Furman became one of the most recognized and controversial figures in American criminal justice history after helping investigate the 1994 murder of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. He was among the first detectives on the scene and then later testified in the national televised murder trial of O.J. Simpson. The case exploded into media phenomenon and became a major flashpoint in debates about race, policing, and the justice system. Furman credibility took a massive hit during the trial. Recording surfaced of him using racial slurs, contradicting earlier testimony in which he claimed that he had not used such language in years. He later pleaded no contest to a felony perjury charge connected to his testimony. Furman strongly denied accusations that he planted evidence, including the infamous bloody glove discovered at Simpson's estate. one of the most scrutinized evidence in modern legal history. The courtroom moment where Simpson struggled to put the gloves on became one of the defining images of the trial. After retiring from the LAPD in 1995, Furman reinvented himself as a conservative commentator, radio host, and true crime author, writing books including The Murder in Brentwood about Simpson's case. Take a listen to what he had to say when he was in trial.
Most of these notes were what Officer Risky was pointing out to Detective Phillips and myself, and what I observed.
What did you intend to do? So were these notes rough notes?
Yes.
What did you intend to do with these notes later on?
I used them to go back to these areas and use them as a guide in what to go back to and prioritize them.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, thinking about this years and years later on how this guy became super popular all of a sudden. And then when he took the fifth, because that's what occurred, when he took the fifth, when he was on the stand, people were like, uh-oh, some things going on, because automatically, you know, it became one of those things of he's guilty because he took the fifth. I don't know if you remember that. I mean, that was years and years ago. I mean, mid-90s at this point.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, I agree. Who cares, man? Who cares what I have to say? Okay, so let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the multiverse. Okay, so where do we go from here? And do we really care? I guess is the other question. God have mercy is kind of the way that it goes. I think is the remainder of that thing. Have mercy on my soul as we are talking. Okay, so as we take a look around and go into the whole kit and caboodle, because there's just no other way to put it, Donald Trump and Bettina Anderson are reportedly set, Donald Trump Jr. and Bettina Anderson are reportedly set to get married over Memorial Weekend in the Bahamas. According to reports, the couple plan to hold a small private ceremony on the island with only close family and friends attending. The two reportedly have been considering a much bigger White House wedding, but the sources say the concerns over how the lavish event might look during the ongoing war in Iran caused them to scale things back. Instead of postponing the wedding entirely, they reportedly decided to keep it intimate and low-key. Well, as low-key as a private island in the Bahamas can be, I guess, is really the way to think about it. Anderson already celebrated with her Enchanted Garden-themed bridal shower at Mar-a-Lago in April. Guests reportedly included members of the Trump family like Ivanka Trump, Laura Trump, Tiffany Trump, and Marla Maples, along with socialites in the Palm Beach Insiders. Trump's Jr.'s daughter, Kai Trump, also attended. So there you go. There you go. Some things to talk about. So let's talk about this one, because this is definitely going to be one of those things that as we do reference this, it's like, wow, it's already been that long, and you kind of get surprised by some of it. But Nancy Guthrie has now been missing for 100 days after authorities say that she was kidnapped from Tucson, Arizona, home back in February the 1st. Investigators believe that the 84-year-old was taken against her will, and surveillance footage later showed a masked man tampering, better saying, with the doorbell camera overnight before she disappeared. No suspects had been identified. Chris Nanos, the chief leading investigator, says that he is no longer personally communicating with Nancy's family. Instead, the contact is now handled through the FBI. Earlier in the case, Nanos had been texting occasionally, speaking directly with Savannah Guthrie, but says investigators are now handling all update communications. So there you go. There you go. What do you think here? 100 days. I mean, it seems like such a long time. It's like in that case, we were talking about it for such a while, and then it was like talk, and then it was gone.
Duh.
So I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things that I look at and go, man, this is a kind of a weird one when we start thinking about it when it's all said and done. No doubt about that. So there you go. Take a listen to this one. So this one was becoming popular over the last week and a half or so.
Duh.
So let's start talking about this one. A federal jury in California has rejected Elon Musk's lawsuit against OpenAI, dealing with a major blow to his claims that the company abandoned its nonprofit roots in favor of chasing profits with backing from Microsoft. Musk sued OpenAI in 2024, accusing CEO Sam Altman and co-founder Greg Brockman of violating the organization's regional mission to develop AI for benefit of humanitarian rather than for corporate gain. He claimed that OpenAI had essentially transformed from a charity-minded nonprofit into a profit machine tied closely to Microsoft. But after 3-week trial in federal court in Oakland, a 9-member jury unanimously ruled that Musk waited too long to bring the case forward. Jurors found that he was aware of this as early as 2021 and that OpenAI was shifting towards a for-profit structure, meaning his 2024 lawsuit fell outside of the legal statute of limitation. Musk has been seeking $150 billion in damages. He also wanted Altman removed from OpenAI's board and hoped to force the company back into a nonprofit status. His legal team argued that OpenAI had stolen a charity and betrayed a co-founding principles. So there you go. What do you think? So it's not that the jury disagreed with what he was saying. They were saying that it's the statute of limitation that was the ongoing issue. So what do you think here? It definitely makes it an interesting one. So can you have a nonprofit that wants to convert over to a profit without it being a issue? Because it definitely sounds like that is not the case. It definitely sounds like it is an issue if you opt to do that or attempt to do that in any means. So there you go. Okay, so let's continue talking about some other things that are going on. This one's been a while sitting around in regards of anything happening with it. That is for sure. So let's go ahead and talk about this one.
Duh.
So Luigi Mangione, remember that name? Because that one was circulating for quite some time. Suffered a major courtroom setback after a judge ruled that the prosecutors can use the gun in the notebook allegedly tying him to the killing of Brian Thompson at trial. The judge decided that the key evidence found in Mangione's backpack, including a 3D printed pistol, prosecutors say that matches the murder weapon, and a notebook described in a manifesto was legally obtained after the police later secured a warrant. Prosecutors say that the notebook included writings about wanting to target a health insurance executive and rallying against what he called the greed-fueled health insurance cartel. However, the judge also ruled that officers improperly searched the backpack during Mangione's initial arrest at McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, meaning that some items found during the first search, including a cell phone, passport, wallet, ammunition, magazines, and computer chips, cannot be used in the trial. Mangione was arrested 5 days after Thompson was fatally shot outside a Manhattan hotel in December of 2024. Police say that Mangione's initially gave officers a fake name and a fake ID before eventually revealing his real identity. Prosecutors argued that police legal grounds to detain him while New York authorities moved on the case. Mangione had pleaded not guilty in both his state murder case and several federal charges. His New York murder trial is scheduled to begin on September the 8th, with a federal case expected to follow in October. So there you go. Sounds like a lot of Mangione going on as we are talking. What do you think here as we are talking about this? Because that's going to be another thing that we are going to have to reference. No doubt about that as we are going. So there you go. There you go. Okay, take a listen to this one. NYC Health and Hospitals, the largest public health provider in the United States, has revealed that hackers stole sensitive data belonging to roughly about 1.8 million patients in a massive cyber attack. According to the officials, hackers quietly infiltrated the system through a compromised third-party vendor and remained inside the network from November until the breach was finally discovered in February. During that time, they reportedly copied huge amounts of deeply personal information, including medical records, diagnosis, treatments, insurance details, billing information, social security numbers, driver's license data, financial account information, and even biometric data like fingerprints and palm prints. The breach is especially concerning because many patients in the system rely on Medicaid and the lack of health insurance entirely, making it particularly vulnerable to identity theft and fraud. Unlike passwords, fingerprints, and biometric scans can't simply be reset once stolen. That's like a cybercrime equivalent of somebody stealing your face and saying, good luck replacing that. Unless you've seen that movie Face Off. NYC Health and Hospitals say it has since reset credentials, tightened security controls, hired cybersecurity firms, and launched a continuing investigation into the attack. Patients are being urged to closely monitor bank accounts, insurance statements, and credit reports for suspicious activity and immediately change passwords tied to the compromised accounts. So what do you think there? I mean, I think it's definitely one of those interesting ones that if you're going to have this issue and you got hacked and it had an issue on 1.8 million people, maybe those are the people that you have to give something to, like maybe like some security packages in regards of somebody actually taking a look to make sure that nothing is happening to their stuff. I'm just saying.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Hey, I'm just saying, so there you go. Let's do one more before we get into our main story. President Trump has agreed to drop a lawsuit against the IRS and the Treasury Department in exchange for the creation of a massive new $1.776 billion anti-weaponized fund designed to compensate people who claim they were targeted by political motivated investigations. The lawsuit stemmed from the leak of Trump's tax returns and also included complaints tied to the 2022 Mar-a-Lago raid and Russia election interference probe. Under the settlement, the new fund would be overseen by 5 members of the commission appointed by the Attorney General, though Trump would retain the authority to remove the commission members. The agreement also allows the fund to issue both formal apologies and financial compensation to approved claimants. The administration says the fund is meant to help victims of what it calls government lawfare. Yeah, political weaponization. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche defended the move, saying that the government should never be used against citizens for political purposes and that the process is intended to provide legal means. Democrats erupted over the deal, calling it an unprecedented abuse of taxpayer money and accusing Trump of effectively creating a politically controlled payout system. Senator Ron Wyden described it as a slush fund, while representing Jamie Raskin accused the administration of funneling taxpayer dollars towards January 6 rioters and Trump allies. So there you go. That's going to definitely be one of those ones that is not going away. That one's not going away anytime soon as we are talking. So there you go. Let's go ahead and get into some main story stuff is probably what we should be doing if you're ready.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's do this. It's main story time. Time for you and I to hang out and strip away the corporate jargon and talk a little bit about what the hell is actually going on inside this multiverse of ours. Today, I want to talk about the biggest lie currently circulating in corporate America. And listen, there are lies out there. It's bigger than that. We're like a family here, so it's bigger than what we offer a competitive salary. I'm talking about the legendary, the mythical, the absolute unicorn of the modern workplace. You ready for this? It's the open door policy. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you sat in an orientation or a town hall meeting or a safety stand down or some executive or a site manager stands up there and points to their officers and says, listen, let me do that again.
Listen, guys, my door is always open.
So listen, guys, my door is always open. If you ever see something, say something. We can speak about the culture here. So it sounds like it's magical. I mean, it just sounds like the most magical thing, right? It sounds like you work in the utopian society where your thoughts and feelings are actually valued. But let's be realistic for a moment. And just for a tiny moment, let's really pull back the curtain on this, because in my experience and in the experience of thousands of other people who have reached out to me over the years, that open door policy is always a trap. And let me explain what I mean when I say that. When they say my door is always open, there is an invisible asterisk at the end of that thing. At the end of that sentence, for sure. And if you read the fine print, my door is always open as long as what you have to say aligns perfectly with what I already believe, doesn't cost me any money, and doesn't point out the flaw in the system that I personally designed. Because the moment that you walk through that door with actual systemic feedback, the moment that you walk in there and say, hey, boss, this new procedure we rolled out last week is completely broken and is putting our guys in the line of fire. Or, hey, this safety initiative is just pencil whipping. It's not actually making anyone safer. Watch how fast that open door suddenly feels like a brick wall. No, seriously. You see, the organizations love the idea of feedback, and they love the optics and the psychological safety. They want to put it on a poster and the breakdown right next to the stale donuts on the labor law posters from 2018, but they don't actually want the friction that comes with the real unfiltered feedback. What happens to the guy or gal who actually uses the open door? Let's call this person Bob. And this is not Bob Edwards, just in case we love him around here. Bob is a good worker. Bob cares. Bob walks into the manager's office and points out the legitimate safety hazards caused by a ridiculous production quota. Bob thinks that he's doing the right thing and he's carrying the signal, right? But the manager doesn't hear the solution. The manager hears the problem. The manager hears insubordination. The manager hears a threat to their quarterly bonus. So what do? They smile. They say, thanks for bringing this to our attention, Bob. We'll look into it. And then the mutation happens. Suddenly, Bob is no longer the guy who cares about safety. Behind closed door, Bob is labeled a complainer. Bob is not a team player anymore. Bob is a resistance to change. A few weeks go by, and suddenly Bob is getting written up for being 3 minutes late from lunch. Suddenly, Bob's performance review takes a massive hit because lacks positive attitude. And I'm just asking for a friend here.
Just asking for a friend.
Have you ever seen this happen? Like, seriously, have you ever seen this happen? Have you ever watched somebody walk through that open door only to find out that it was a trap door with a target painted on the bottom of it? This is what we talk about when we discuss human and organizational performance, or HOP, if you want to call it that way. A healthy system, a true learning organization, thrives on bad news. Yes, thrives on bad news. They want the bad news. They want it fast because bad news is the only way to fix a failing system before it kills somebody. But a toxic system treats bad news like a virus. It attacks the host that brought it in. And we see this in safety all the time. We all tell employees or team members to report near misses. We practically beg them to do this. Please.
Please.
Fill out the cards. Tell us where the hazards are. But the second an employee fills out a card that requires management to actually pause production, spend capital, or admit that leadership made a mistake, the system goes into full-blown defense mode. The employees are investigated. Well, why are they just standing there? Why didn't they use their situational awareness? Why didn't you just make a better choice? We take systemic failure and we weaponize it against the worker. We package their voice. We rebrand their concerns, and then we put it on the blame right back onto their shoulders. And then we wonder why 6 months later nobody's reporting anything anymore. We sit around on the boardroom scratching our head. Gosh, our near miss reporting is down 80%. We must be doing really safe things. This must be a really good, safe workplace. No, you idiots. You don't have a safe workplace. You have a silent workplace. A silent workplace is the most dangerous environment on the planet. because the hazards are still there. The risks are still there, and broken systems are still there. The workers have just realized that your open door policy isn't worth a career suicide if they walk through it. So here's the challenge to you today. If you are a leader, a manager, a safety professional, or just somebody with a title on your door, I want you to take a hard look at how you react when somebody brings you the ugly truth. Do you get defensive? Do you immediately start looking for ways that the employee screwed up? Or do you politely nod and then bury their concerns in a filing cabinet somewhere? Because if you do me a favor. Matter of fact, do everyone a favor. Shut the door, lock it. Just be honest about who you are and what kind of culture you're running, and stop pretending that you want the truth if you're not willing to accept the compliance. And if you're a worker out there, and if you're one of the one that keeps trying to walk through the door and keeps getting slapped for it, I want you to know that you're not crazy. You're seeing the matrix for what it is. You are carrying the signal. And sometimes the system just isn't built to receive it. And it might, it might be time to start doing the unspectacular planning that we talked about a few days ago, because staying in the environment that punishes you for caring is a soul-crushing way to make a living. I mean, think about that for a moment. I don't know, but maybe I completely am off base here, but maybe I'm just an idiot behind this microphone, but who the hell knows? But I'm asking you one question, because someone has to. Because if you don't think about these things and realize what is going on, what are you going to do next? Seriously.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
If you think local radio sucks, wait till you hear our free-form station, Radio Big.
I've done enough to put this doubt aside, but what's more important, your heart or my peace of mind? The truth is I've had enough, oh I'm done, I can't do this shit.
Okay, here we go. Currently 45 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Tuesday. May the 12th, listen to me. May the 19th. Why am I trying to go back in time? So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse as we are hanging out. Yeah, this one's called Love We Shared. Brought to you by Vox White. Songs readily available on Apple Music, YouTube Music, Spotify, and Pandora. So a lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multi. Yep. It's all about that love we shared, so just in case you were wondering. So I have to tell you, we're constantly trying to bring you new music because I think it's important for us to do. No, like seriously, I think it's super important for us to do. So there you go. So some good times going on inside of this multiverse. We'd like to thank Fox White for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that as we are hanging out. Okay, so let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And we want you to know that people have been where you are now and that healing is possible. Things can get better. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com. Once you get there, all kinds of information for you. You're going to see stuff related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. Once you get there, you will find stuff on that website that can change everything for you, including 24-hour helplines that are listed right there on that same page. You can look around and take a look at some of the stuff that's going around, things that you can get involved with, and even a way to provide self-care. So TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go, some information for you as we are talking. What else do we got going on for you? Oh yeah, let me tell you about this because this is happening. Yeah, we're so close to this. It's not even funny. So let's talk about it. We got an event coming up in Orlando, Monday, July the 13th. We're calling it Reality Shifts. We're going to have Nick Weatherly there, Todd Conklin, and yours truly. They're live and in person with you inside of the room. We're going to go ahead and talk about behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, and we're going to talk about signal. Now, don't worry as we're talking about this. It's not like this is going to become one of these things where it's one of those contra and against and all that kind of fun stuff. What we will be discussing here is going over the information on how we take a look at some of the things that are happening inside of the world. So with that being said, let's talk about a couple of different things. If you go to safetyfm.io right now, you'll find information about this event. You can also go to that little QR code that's on the screen to scan that. It will take you directly there. We are doing this inside of a movie theater, so we're ditching all of the normal hotel stuff. What we're doing is we're trying to do the lockdown here in this particular regards because we wanted to, number one, test this out and see how this concept would work. Number two, we also wanted to open this up to the public. These are going to be some of the lowest prices that you'll be able to find doing one of these events in person. So there you go. We have this open to the public. Go ahead and scan that QR code or go to safetyfm.io for more information. So if you're good with that, I would love to see you there. I think it's going to be a good time. You and I hanging out, doing our thing. That is for sure. We're doing it on a Monday because, hey, if you want to hang out over the weekend in Orlando, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. That's what I would do. I mean, I'm just saying. Okay, so with that being said, let's do the following. Here is the following aspect. We're going to bring John Small in. We're going to have him talk about the Motivation Minute. So let's go ahead and do that right now.
Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Heidi. Benjamin Franklin said, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." That quote comes up often in the context of new technology and concerns about government surveillance, but many experts agree that that's not really what he originally meant. Benjamin Franklin was a very smart man. He gave us inventions that changed the world at the time, but even he could not have imagined the world we live in today with computers and phones in our pocket and social media and AI. I believe he would be even more worried, by the way, about these things. Now, that's just a guess. I actually read his autobiography many years ago. It was amazing to see inside the mind of a man like Benjamin Franklin. He was a great writer and probably a genius, but there were also a few crazy chapters in there as well.
The Motivation Minute.
This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Radio R Safety Show.
High-stakes diplomacy is unfolding over Iran as new peace terms circulate and fighting continues to strain the region.
Iran has sent a fresh proposal to the United States. While another Reuters report says the war has already cost global companies at least $25 billion, the talks come as pressure grows for a settlement, even while the conflict keeps disrupting shipping, markets, and business plans. Chris Anderson reporting.
In Congo, health officials are racing to contain a new Ebola outbreak that has already spread fast.
The World Health Organization is due to give an update after warning that the outbreak poses an international emergency. Treatment centers are opening, and medical teams are trying to slow the spread before it reaches more people. Gary Beck reporting.
Kenya's transport system is under heavy strain after a strike over fuel prices shut down many routes.
Roads in Nairobi and other areas were reported unusually quiet, and some schools told students to stay home. The walkout is putting new pressure on officials to address rising costs that have already angered commuters. Benjamin Wright reporting.
A military air show in Idaho turned dangerous when two fighter jets collided in the sky.
Emergency crews responded after witnesses reported the crash during the weekend event at a U.S. Air Force base. The pilots were able to eject safely, and investigators are now working to determine what went wrong. Lawrence Keller reporting.
President Trump's administration is moving ahead with a new fund tied to a deal over an IRS lawsuit.
The agreement would drop the legal fight in exchange for money set aside for allies who say they were prosecuted unfairly. The move adds another flashpoint to the administration's broader battle over how the government has used its power. Kyle Norris reporting.
The Supreme Court has cleared the way for Medicare drug price talks to keep moving forward.
The justices rejected appeals from pharmaceutical companies that wanted to block the negotiations. The ruling keeps one of the biggest parts of the government's prescription cost effort intact. Jessica Oakley reporting.
A massive drone assault targeted Moscow over the weekend, bringing the war closer to Russian civilians than ever before.
Russia's defense ministry reported shooting down over 1,000 Ukrainian drones in a single day, one of the largest such barrages of the conflict. 3 people were killed in the Moscow region, and the strikes are forcing officials to confront the fact that the war is no longer a distant campaign. Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
If you think local radio sucks, wait till you hear our free-form station. Radio Big.
Warning. Listening to other radio stations could cause testicle shrinkage. I'm talking the truth.
Okay, so let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 1898, post office authorities use postcards. Yep, authorizes the use of postcards. Yeah, there you go. Okay, in 1935, NFL adopts an annual college draft to begin in 1936. In 1987, the first American Comedy Award. In 1989, Sue Ellen, Linda Gray, last appearance on Dallas. 1992, Amy Fisher shoots Mary Jo Buttafuoco in Long Island, New York. So there you go. And then 1994, tennis star Jennifer Capriati checks into a drug rehab center. So there you go. That's some things that happened back on those dates. Let's talk about some celebrity birthdays going on today. David Hartman turns 91. Pete Townsend turns 81. Grace Jones turns 74. Sam Smith turns 34 today. So there you go. There you go. Let's talk about some things that you ought to know, because that seems always important to do. Tonight's Mega Million jackpot is for $277 million. Here's last night's winning Powerball number. Jackpot was $100 million. It was 4, 13, 34, 61, 65. Powerball was 12. Power Play was 2. Donald Trump may soon give the White House lawn a serious airport upgrade. According to reports, the president is considering building a permanent helipad on the White House grounds as early as this summer, replacing the long-standing tradition of Marine One landing directly on the South Lawn grass. So there you go. Also, the Super Bowl is expected to land in Nashville for the first time ever after the NFL owners reportedly prepared to approve the city bid to host the 2030 games. The bid is tied to Tennessee Titans' massive new Nissan Stadium, a $2.1 billion venue currently under construction and set to open in 2027. The stadium will seat about 60,000 fans during the regular games and get expected to roughly 70,000 for giant events like the Super Bowl. So there you go. Was it the Super Bowl or the toilet bowl? Okay, now I don't remember. So what do you think? Are you excited about it? So there you go. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to Radio Big.FM. That's what's going to happen for the next couple hours. We'll be talking about the world of music, and we'll be talking about the world of entertainment over there. If you want to come and hang out, would love to see you over there. No doubt about that. Okay, if you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine. You can stay here on Safety FM and hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. That's what he does. So it will be a good time. Either way, whichever way you want to go, it will be a good time. I'm telling you, there is no doubt about that. Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about some words of wisdom for today. If you avoid every risk, life becomes one long waiting room. Think about that. Think about that for a moment. And then here's some advice for you, just in case. Enhance your Wi-Fi signal by strategically positioning tinfoil behind the router. The reflecting surface helps redirect and amplify the wireless waves. Not a joke as I'm talking about that. So there you go. Some things to talk about. No doubt about that. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me on this lovely Tuesday. I know who you are. You know who I am. Well, hopefully you know who I am. Seriously. Love you. Mean it. Well, should we say goodbye yet? Because I always hate the goodbyes. It's always one of those things that I never know how to say goodbye. Okay, goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and/or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and/or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and/or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
When we dance to your place and you change your tone. try not to think about the love we shared, the love we